In this lesson, we're going to be learning about the order of operations. This is a review of 5th grade, so you might already be a little bit familiar with it, but this will be a good review and an important one. Today's goals, content objectives. Students will be able to solve problems involving multiple operations and numbers using the order of operations. Students will be able to recite and explain the order of operations. All right, so why do we need the order of operations? Let's consider this. The following problem was given to two students, Aiden and Stephen. They both got a different answer. Why is that, and who is right? So if you take a look at Aiden's answer, he said that 16 plus 5 times 35 was 16 plus, and then he multiplied, you can see 5 times 35, and got 175. Then he added and got 191. Stephen, on the other hand, he decided to add these first, 16 plus 5, and then did 21 times 35 and got a very different answer. So you can see already why we need to have some rules about how we're going to solve a problem. If you don't have consistent rules about what order to solve things, everyone's going to do it different, and we're already always going to get different answers. So it's important that in mathematics we are always getting the same results. So if we take a look at this, method 1 is actually correct. You will learn today that you need to multiply always before you add or subtract. All right, so this is my Aunt Sally. She's going to be walking through a problem, and she's going to help us learn the order of operations today. Would you please go ahead and add this to your note section? So you're going to need to pause the video, and I would like you to copy this in the notes section of your lesson sheet, please. All right, so this gives us the order of operations. You might remember PEMDAS if we read this acronym down, PEMDAS. That's just a way to remind you what the order is. So first are parentheses. The inner parentheses, and then they might go out to these brackets. Then you solve all the exponents. Then you multiply and divide in whichever comes first, left or right. So you're going to go from left to right just like you read and multiply and divide in order. Same with addition and subtraction. You're going to go left to right and you're going to add and subtract in whatever order you see them in the problem. So be in your and then on. All right, so there again we see, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. She's going to walk us through this problem right here. All right, so these bars look like parentheses. Take care of whatever is inside of these first, then set the problem back up. There may be more than one set in an expression. So what we're going to be doing is as we go through each step, this one would be P for parentheses, we are going to solve that and then rewrite the problem. So I'm going to bring this down. So would you go ahead in your practice problem section of your notes, write down this problem because you're going to do this with me. All right, so first you can see in red we're going to solve those parentheses. So if I drag this down, now you can see that I solved 6 minus 3 and got 3, and then I rewrote the rest of the problem. This is really, really important. If you don't and you try to do things in your head, you're going to make mistakes. So we've done P. Let's go on to the next step. So after P parentheses, next we're going to do exponents. So here's the problem as it was on the last screen after parentheses. Now we can see one exponential value. We're going to go ahead and draw an arrow down and solve that. That means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So once you've solved the exponents, rewrite the problem again. So would you make sure that your problem looks like this before you move on? All right, next step. So we have solved parentheses in this step. Then we solved exponents right here. And now we have this problem. So our next step is M and D. Multiply and divide in order. So I'm going to walk through the problem and say, oh, there we go. Let's stop here. And I'm going to solve 3 times 4 is 12. Now you see I have division as well, but because the multiplication came first, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to rewrite the problem so it doesn't get messy. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk through the problem again and stop. There's the division. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Rewrite the problem again. All right, so we have solved the parentheses, then the exponents, then we multiplied and divided in order. Now we're going to add and subtract in the order that we find them. Now this problem, as it is, 8 plus 6 plus 8, only has addition. So we're going to go ahead and do that in the order that we see it. So 8 plus 6 is 14. And again, rewrite the problem, and 14 plus 8 is 22. If you take it step by step, it's really not too bad. All right, we're going to break this down just a little bit more. All right, so let's start with just that the first part, parentheses and then exponents. So let's take these problems right here. First, I'm going to solve what's in the parentheses. 8 minus 6 is 2. Then I'm going to solve the exponent. 4 times 4 is 16. Then I would finish solving and add that together. If you want to pause the video and try these and then play it, you may, or if you want to just do them with me, that's fine too. All right, let's practice again doing parentheses first, then exponents. So the parentheses, 10 minus 2 is 8. And then because this exponent is on the outside of the parentheses, you're going to solve what's inside first and then take that answer to the power of 2. Because basically you have that, but that's just 8 to the power of 2. Over here, let's solve the parentheses first. 3 minus 1 is 2. And then again, we're going to make that to the power of 3. All right. Now let's go ahead and simplify this problem a little bit more. 8 to the power of 2 is 64, plus 2 to the power of 3 is 8. And so my final answer is going to be 72. Let's try this one right here. Now here we have exponents in the parentheses. So we have to use order of operations within parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 to the power of 3, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, minus 5 to the power of 2, 25. Plus, let's solve these parentheses, 1 plus 4 is 5. All right, now we need to solve this set of parentheses. 27 minus 25 is 2, plus 5, and that is equal to 7. All right, now let's try multiplying and dividing in order. All right, so in all these problems you see some division and some multiplication. Please keep in mind that this bar right here means to divide. All right, here we go. So we're going to multiply and divide in the order we see it. So if you look at this problem right here, which do you see first? Do you see that, and sorry about this in the way, which do you see first, the multiplication or the division sign? I agree. I see the multiplication sign first. So before you do 8 divided by 6, you're going to do 4 times 8 because we go from left to right. 4 times 8 is 32. Now you're going to do 32 divided by 6. And if we used our calculator to figure that out, then we would actually get something close to 5.3 repeating. Not a very nice answer, but that's all right. All right, next one. Again, we're going to multiply and divide in order from left to right. So the first thing I see is division. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then the next one I see is 5 times 9 is 45. And then 45 times 1 is equal to 45. And then the last one here, again, we're going to multiply and divide in order. So 11 times 2 is 22. Let's go ahead and rewrite the problem so it's not quite so messy. Now I see 22 times 2. I'm going to do this before I divide because we multiply and divide in order is 44. Finally, we're going to do 44 divided by 4, which is equal to 11. Oops, let me go back. All right, now let's practice adding and subtracting in order. So again, left to right, whichever you hit first. As I walk through, I see addition first. 8 plus 4, or 4 plus 8, is 12. Let's rewrite the problem. 12 minus 6, and then 12 minus 6 equals 6. All right, let's add and subtract in order. This time I see subtraction first. So 10 minus 2 is 8. Let's rewrite the problem. Plus 9 minus 1. Then I have 8 plus 9 is 17, minus 1, and 17 minus 1 equals 16. Last one. Again, let's add and subtract in order from left to right. First thing I see is 11 minus 2, which is 9, plus 10 plus 2. Now the next thing I see is 9 plus 10, which is 19, plus 2, and then we end up with 21. All right, why don't you pause the video? I want you to go ahead and try these 4 problems for me and see what you get. All right, here are the answers. So just look at what you did. If you made a mistake, then just pause the video and try to figure out what you did wrong. Notice that we have all the same numbers in here, but just depending on where you put the operations and where you put the parentheses, we get very different answers. All right, here's some fun problems for you. So go ahead again, pause the video, try these 2 problems, and let's see what you get. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did. Remember PEMDAS back here. First parentheses, so I'm going to do 3 plus 7 is 10. And it's going to be 10 to the second power, the answer of the parentheses to the power of 2. So now we have 3, and here's a good thing to point out. When you see a number next to parentheses, you're actually going to multiply. That means multiplication. So 3 times 10 to the second power divided by 5. All right, so let's walk through the problem again. Next thing we're going to do is exponent. 10 to the second power is 100. Let's rewrite the problem. 3 times 100 divided by 5. Now I'm going to multiply and divide in order. First I see multiplication. 3 times 100 is 300 divided by 5. And our answer is 60. All right, let's try this one over here. I walk through the problem looking for parentheses. And there they are. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Now let's rewrite the problem. 27 divided by 3. Since it's next to parentheses, that means times. And here we have 2. And because the exponent of 2 is on the outside, it's going to be 2 to the second power. Next step. Now we're going to solve exponents. I see an exponent here. That will be 4. So let's rewrite the problem again. Now we're going to multiply and divide in order. I see division first, so 27 divided by 3 equals 9, and 9 times 4 is 36. All right, one more set of practice, and then you're going to practice on your own. Try these 2 problems. This is our gold level. These get a little bit trickier. Try it and then pause to see my answer, or unpause to see my answer. All right, I'm going to pop these balloons, see if your answer matches mine. First one is 41, and the second one is 18. If you need an explanation for why that is, I'm going to go ahead and show my work, see if you can figure it out. And then if you got them right, you can go ahead and stop the video and start your practice problems and activity for the day. Good luck. All right, so you can see my work here. And just see how you did. Now keep in mind this second problem is a very difficult one. Please don't worry if you were not able to get there. Rick, I just want to point out brackets. It's parentheses and a parentheses. So I would solve this 5 minus 2 is 3 times 4 is 12. And then the brackets is just a parenthesis around it, so I'd solve everything in the brackets, then take that to the power of 2. All right, have fun with order of operations.